was just introduced. My name is Pavel. You can call me Paul if it's easier for you. I'm adopting. I'm 4 years in the United States. I believe this microphone is actually creates a vibration. Before that, I lived and worked in Russia, Moscow mainly. But I'm representing First Line Software. That's a company which provides consulting and implementation of software creation. And right now, none of software can be done without AI, as you can imagine. It's probably also in your life. Everybody's just trying to hunt and find a way how AI can be integrated into the software. And we do the same, so we're helping our clients to do that. And while we've been doing that, do you hear echo, right? Do you hear echo as well? Should I? Sorry for not looking ugly for this mic. So as we've been doing that, we follow the same concept that probably you heard already, AI first. We help our clients to be AI first, but then like what actually it means. And when we start figuring out this for ourselves, and when we start figuring out this for our clients, we came up with some ideas that I'm ready to share with you. So first of all, AI first is a term. Probably exists ages, but publicly it was like 2016, the CEO of Google said like we are AI first company, everybody need to be AI first companies. So that's like over a decade already when this term was kind of publicly announced and stuff like that. But there is still no definition of AI first. If you take a look at the best companies in the world from the consulting perspective, from the strategy consulting, you will not see like a unified definition of that. And a lot of AI first implementations from our perspective, and I'm not sure you can share yours in the afterwards session, like when you have question and answer sessions. It's like mainly like, let's apply AI somewhere. That's what we see as a AI first strategy for the companies. And then some of the companies like, let's apply at least somehow so I can tell to my stakeholders that AI is actually there, so we're already there. And that's what is called AI washing. Probably heard about this term as well. So that like implementation of let's use AI somewhere and that will make sense for our organization is what we see mainly on the market right now, and nobody actually have a better definition of that. And the most two use cases, you probably have seen them for sure. I'm not opening America right now for you. That we either like go to human does some specific task, and then we augment the human with the AI capabilities. We're just telling, okay, right now you have also a little bit of AI helping you to do your human responsible task. Another like opposite case is like agents. Agents everywhere, let's replace human, let's do the whole human task by AI agent, and that's like, humans are not needed anymore. And these are two kind of side cases that you obviously saw on the market, and you also saw on the market these numbers. And probably like I used 90 from the old reports, and right now the most popular report is MIT. You obviously, hopefully have seen it as well. It's on a limited data set, but still they're saying 95% of implementation stuck at the proof of concept stage. So people go to the proof of concept, they implement something with AI, and then they understand that this works, but then they don't understand how to push it forward. They don't really see how to push it forward. And that obviously tells something, right? We're still in the space, in the area where we don't understand how to apply AI properly for organizational existence. Because for personal life, I'm sure that everybody in this audience using AI quite extensively. And you already figured your way how you use AI for your tasks and activities, and you probably overlap this with your company or organizational life as well, but maybe in some cases quite silently. So what's actually wrong from our experience and from our perspective? The first thing that important to state probably, that from whatever we see right now with AI models, model developer companies, that they do not show cognitive breakthroughs anymore. When we've been moving like from GPT-1 to GPT-4 on that journey, it was a lot of surprising news and cognitive breakthroughs. Right now AI can do that, right now AI can do that. We don't see this anymore. And that is based on a couple of facts from my understanding of what is happening. We are not a model developer, but kind of trying to keep tact with that. First of all, AI model builders, they consumed all the reasonable data in the world. Everything that we had in written form already consumed by them. They annotated that, they curated that, they're using this to the full extent. It's one limitation that they're hitting. Second limitation, that to make like a next cognitive jump for the model, they need to increase number of parameters of the model, and that makes the actual model training is extremely expensive. Right now, it's already millions of dollars and billions of dollars that they spent on training. That's going to be hundreds and maybe trillions of dollars for the next level of parameters that they need to achieve to actually get, like, hopefully get to the next cognitive breakthrough. And at the end of the day, what is AI capable, current version of AI, I'm not saying that that's what we need to stick to, but current version of AI is kind of stable or stabilizing. And what it can do to you, it actually can process huge volume of information quite quickly. So speed and accuracy of this processing is amazing. It can find facts that you're looking for. If you ask something about the fact, it can find in this huge volume of data required facts. And then it can also generate what might be called actionable insight. So they found the fact, and then they take this into somewhat derivative, which we used to see mainly as like a summary. We see a summary of something that we asked for. But it might be not just a summary. It might be a plan. It might be an artifact that you can use, like an email generator that you can just send after your review, or maybe just send it directly. Or it might be a code that is generated by AI, and you're happy with this code, and you can choose to use it like that. And all these artifacts that AI producing might be called actionable insight, because it's an insight from the facts, and then you can act on it. And that is actually what AI can do. So yeah, I believe everybody in this audience definitely saw that. What we haven't seen, what AI can do, it's the next thing. AI can only consume information in the text form. So if you have information in any other form, you can argue that multimodal AI is definitely there. But even multimodal AI is just to convert whatever other format you have into the text form. And then based on this text form, AI can start acting, can start operating. Without a text form, it doesn't really operate. Second, maybe not the second on the slide, but second in my mind, large context window is something that AI has got lost. So you cannot really rely on jumping everything in the context window and expecting that AI will figure out what is important, what is not important. And the most important part that right now, not even research activities of how to get out of this text-only information kind of limitations. And we as humans, we use multiple ways to get a context and then process this context. And that is like you not just listening to me, because when I'm verbalizing, it's probably easy to just put it into the words and then feed it to AI. But you also observe me, how I behave, how my voice operates, what kind of nonverbal clues you have. You have your own intuition, you have your own experience, you have your own consciousness when you can kind of put yourself outside of the normal being inside and kind of observe yourself. And you have empathy, you have mirror neurons in your brain, a lot of things that are there to help us as humans to absorb information from the surrounding context and understand it better. AI only can consume it when we already verbalize it. When we verbalize, we can convert this into text. That's a limitation. So then if you take a look at the human intelligence a little bit closer, how we human understand humans. And it's not just to do something, to deliver for humans, but also like collaborate. When we're all together in the group, how we can understand each other's needs. That, like probably primitive version, I'm not a cognitive scientist, so like it's common sense version of it. But first of all, we start from the content absorption by any means, meaning not just hearing what you're saying, but also seeing what you're doing, how you behave, what my intuition tells me, what my experience tells me, what my memory tells me. So it's a lot of things that are happening at this stage. Then I'm processing that through my mental model, through understanding, through my experiences, through everything that I've been thinking about, what actually it means, why it's important for you, or why it is not important for you. That's like a mental processing. When I process that, then I can verbalize it. And when I verbalize it, when I can say something or type it out, then like it's something that starts to be meaningful to AI, not before that. And then I'm looking through this information as myself or group of people as a team, like relevant information that I processed and verbalized. And right now, based on this information, I start acting. I'm defining what needs to be done, what don't need to be done. And when I created like a proposal for myself, what needs to be done, then I'm also verifying this. And when I verify that, I also verify this not against what was written, but what it is actually in my mental model. I kind of verifying this on the quite fuzzy logic facts that exist in my mental model and saying, yes, this is what I need to satisfy human needs, or this is not what I need to satisfy human needs, I need to develop something else. This is like high-level common sense human intelligence description. And from our experience, we see that in reality, there is a new age of human intelligence arising. And there are two misconceptions that the industry doesn't talk about. First, probably obvious, but the word intelligence in artificial intelligence added there in 1952, 55, depending on the source, so in 50s. Intelligence, because it created a context for us, cognitive context, we kind of, as a human, typically fail into the trap of this context. And our failure is like, if we hear intelligence, we immediately apply this to the human. We kind of believe that only one intelligence exists that we used to, it's a human intelligence. And when we hear that about artificial intelligence, we kind of process that as similar intelligence, which is not, because right now AI intelligence is very different. It is an amazing tool that actually for the first time ever probably in the human history took some cognitive functions from the human and capable to do that quicker and more accurate, but it's only some cognitive functions. It's not the whole thing, not like the whole end-to-end process of our intelligence. And for generative AI, like with all the capabilities that it provides right now, accelerated insights might be a better name. I'm not going to fight for that because that's probably impossible to win over, like over 70 years of experience with artificial intelligence, like it's stuck already in our language. But still, accelerated insights probably better reflection of actually what this thing does. And last but not least, here on the slide, like we never talk about adaptability of human, and I don't know why. And that is a big thing. We saw examples in the past of our history of humanity that we've been adopting to everything, like from the physical support from the wheel to like, I don't know, calculators and computers. They've been just added into our way of living and to our intelligence, and they've been transforming our intelligence and our way of operations naturally. So we just integrate all these tools and we create a new version of ourselves, like tools already there. So we just leveraging them and we leave to our intelligence the rest of the work. And that from our observation perspective actually creates that gap, because people like expecting from the intelligence of different kind to replace humans, which is mission impossible right now, at least. Maybe it's going to happen tomorrow, I don't know. Some inventions will happen, but with the current artificial intelligence, it's not possible. And we kind of don't underestimate how humans are adaptable. With all that together, what we see as a new age of human intelligence, it's actually these cognitive functions that already this tool called AI is capable of delivering need to be delegated to this tool. And that's what we're going through right now in our personal life for sure. I believe you definitely have an experience that if you have information or you need a request for information, you just go to ChatGPT of the world, of your preference, then you ask it and you get in the answer. And if you are not happy with the answer, something tells you. It may be not just the content, because you probably don't have all the experiences in the world to understand if it's correct or not, but something tells you it's not what I want, then you just keep refining and getting like an actionable insight from the AI tool of your choice that makes sense for you. And then you grab it and you use it for your needs. That what is new human intelligence will look like, already looks like, because it's already happening. It's a transformative process that is happening right now. But still, context absorption, it's a human responsibility. There are no tools yet that can do that. Mental processing to verbalize it. So before you verbalize it, I have no idea what you're thinking about, what you need, what actually your expectations are about the whole thing. But as soon as you verbalize it, you can actually feed this to the AI tool. And then that might be processed way more efficient than you can, each of us, not just you, but each of us, can different speed, different accuracy of finding the relevant facts and generation of actionable insights. But then again, only you can process verification of what was proposed to you is actually valid because you are the one who is keeping this mental model in your head. So with that new age human intelligence, we actually see that ultimate version of it, when humans will be adopting that, it's an ultimate delegation of fact-finding and actionable insights generation to AI. That's like a mutual joint work between human and AI in that sense. And humans in that sense will be changing. Humans will be strategic, but at the same time they will get that scalability that we never had before because these cognitive functions of fact-finding and insight generation right now can be delegated and it's scalable at the machine level. And at the same time, we are ethics responsible. So we're going to be ethically accountable for AI to like whatever it produced, that it makes sense for the humanity. And that our kind of, from experience, understanding of the new human intelligence. How we defined it, AI first, like it was a long, long run to the AI first back. We defined it at first line software that AI first, it's when you apply this new age human intelligence to all the aspects of your operations in the organization. And that is about unlocking new capabilities in the organization. Because it's not about just changing the current way how you execute things. Because the new age human intelligence gives you that endless scalability for the fact-finding and for the processing of that and generation of insights. Which means that the common way how we talk to our clients, like what you need to be thinking in terms of use cases, it's not about taking the current use case and automating it. You can probably, it might be return on investment kind of positive thing. You might be thinking about replacing humans and delegate everything to agents. It probably will fail because the agent doesn't have the whole context and context might change and the agent will not have it and it will be just failing because of that. But thinking about your organization when you have humans endlessly scalable, you don't have limitation on humans who need to process information and generate something meaningful for your business. And that imaginary case, when you don't have such limitations in your organization, that what should yield like a rethinking, reimagining of the processes, of the way how you operate, and that is an unlock of the new capabilities. When you reimagine such cases, then you can actually start scaling up and leveraging AI tool properly for your organization and really bringing value to your AI first transformation of the company if you demand it to do so. Before I jump there, sorry, because you read quickly and I'm probably not that quickly. Because it is an approach more like from the human change perspective. Human change perspective, it's a tough thing. It's not an easy thing. It's not like you say, you know, from tomorrow you ultimately delegate everything to AI if you need to find information and you need to generate new meaningful products that you're responsible for at work. Maybe not only at work. And that change of behavior, we kind of going into very intimate space. People have been doing that for for like a year. They've been taught to do something, and they've been doing that again and again and again. And right now we are telling them, hey, change the way how you do this. You need to change your behavior. And change of the behavior, it's not an easy thing. And to change the behavior from our perspective, like from other experiences, like I'm from the software engineering world, like the change of the behavior from the process and efficiency perspective in 1999 was formulated in the form of Agile Manifesto. And it was based on values, what we value more and what we value less. That's why we decided to follow the same approach and come up with the AI First Manifesto. And this is about values. And for those who are not familiar with the form of Agile Manifesto, it is a statement that we, as like here, AI First adopters, practice things, and we value more things on the left, like in this version it's going to be in the above, than things below. Both things are important. Don't get confused. Like, don't do only things on the above that are written, and don't do things on the bottom. Both things are important for existence, for the performance. But when we practice AI-first approach, we need to value, if we have a choice, we need to value like things on top of that. And in that sense, like new age human intelligence, we value more in that approach than just conventionally productivity optimization. And it means like standard digitalization practices that we have. Take a process, redigest it, and then try to automate human work. That's like not, it's important. It's what's going to be happening for a lot of time. But the first thing need to be that new way of intelligence when we delegate ultimately to AI some things. And then the intuition and empathy we value more than just factual-based assessment of things. And still, like, it's more like returning back to humanity. And at the same time, if we have an ability to generate something actionable based on verbalized version of things existing around us in organization, or maybe not in organization, but in your personal life, you must delegate, and we value more than you delegate this to AI tool. And the last but not least, that we must be responsible for validation of AI work. And this might be called like human in the loop approach, but not really, because you're not in the loop with AI. You're at the stage of the process when you see what AI produced to you, when you ultimately delegate the accountability to AI. And then you just like verifying this against something in you. Does it make sense or it doesn't make sense? And that actually one of the common traps for people who have a context and they can talk to AI and they see that AI is kind of repetitively brings the good value. And then they step into the area where there is something novel for themselves and they don't have a context. And they blindly start trusting AI into whatever was generated instead of like developing their own sense of what is actually has to be the final result. That's like a common trap there. And that's why the force value is so important. And to keep it not just like a general statement, guys, AI-first manifesto, AI-first is that approach, a little bit of the story from the software engineering industry. How many of you, like actually from software development history? Okay, quite a bit. So you probably like hear that soon we need to fire everyone, no engineers are needed anymore because AI will do like the whole coding. I mean, some people saying that, and like Amazon just announced whatever next set of layoffs because they do automation with AI. And things are really happening in software engineering industry, like it's eat your own dog food. Software engineers not limited with playing with themselves, and that's why they're applying a lot of new novel stuff to themselves first of all, and that's like mind-blowing because we kind of cutting the branch of the tree which we're sitting on, right? But at the same time, it's a great experimentation area. And what we saw to the moment, maybe more things will come. So like it kind of moved from the simple evolution. So we had like things like code completion for many, many decades, maybe years, to more advanced code completion capabilities, to specific IDEs, so the places where developers are working on the creation of the software. And that by itself like created significant breakthrough in the productivity, but not like tens and 20s of multiples that are claimed in the industry. And IDEs are great, but they are not really convenient for the human habit changes because humans are actually adjusting to what they do. And when they have their own environment that they used to, moving to a new set of tools, it's actually a lot of effort. It's hard. That's why CLI tools were produced. It's a command line interface tools, like your terminal session, MS-DOS, for those who like remember all these days. Like you can work with AI like as a conversation in such tools. They're available for everyone, everywhere. You don't need to adjust to new tools. That's like a next breakthrough that happened at the end of last year, which is amazing. And models are getting better and better in understanding of code as well. But there are in organization security concerns. Like, can we trust the model providers to their legal language that they have zero data retention policy in practice, not just on the legal terms? Do we really trust to that, or we don't trust to that? And another thing that AI, because it's kind of jumping into the middle of what engineers are doing, AI demanding new practices to be developed. The kind of relatively new one, spec-driven development. It actually pushes more and more engineers to be like specification writer, thoughtful specification writer rather than a coder, rather than a programmer. And second thing, which is also important, because that control of the context for the AI is such an important thing. And then the only way how we figured in the software engineering industry to do that through applying of tests in advance and test-driven development that I believe forgotten right now, or almost forgotten, is something that need to be relearned, because that's an approach to define this context pretty well in terms of surrounding what you need to AI to do, and then AI can do the rest of the things. With all that said, I'm almost done, last slide. What is really happening in the trenches? I'm not sure if you see it in your organization, but I definitely see it in my organization with our clients. Some tasks in software engineering are still human heavy. The one is definitely understand the problem, like absorption of this context, what actually needed and how it needs to be done. That's only human can do. But then we can move forward, like how it can be solved, how we need to verbalize, like how we need to define this in terms of specification, how we need to plan the implementation. That's what already human plus AI does a lot. I don't see AI yet doing that, but human plus AI kind of does it a lot. So people are easily adjusting to that. But what is not happening but in mass, but it's happening in reality in most advanced software engineers practices, that coding, unit testing, refactoring, and bug fixing, they delegate to AI ultimately, meaning that they don't own this code anymore. They just delegate the whole thing to AI, and they only observe that AI haven't got lost in the context, that it still like does the right thing. And that is a totally new behavioral pattern, new engineering practice that we haven't seen in the past, and that's like change in the engineering work itself for the specific person, which by itself is challenging. That's why we don't see yet books or methodology that can be applied to every engineer, because it's like very intimate process that is happening right now in the industry. And the last, at the end, like testing, moving this to production, it's again, human is important here because somebody needs to validate that what we produced is important, and the AI can help a lot of like tedious tasks that can be done there. That's what is happening in the industry. People are talking about 10x developers and stuff like that. If you take a look at the like end-to-end cycle of software engineering, then coding activities may be taken 60% of the time, maybe in the best case 80% of the time. Even like if you imagine like if it's 90% of the time, which I cannot see in the real world, and you push it to 0, like you will not get 10x, right? If you just coding doesn't exist anymore, still you don't get 10x. Maybe like 3x, 2.5, 2 that we see like a practical reality. 3x is something feasible when human plus AI activities might be improved and humans will be more effective in those. Like 3x is kind of the current limitation for the productivity improvement that might be happening in this new age software engineering. With all that said, you guys are welcome to join our AI First Manifesto, the same way as it was with Agile Manifesto. If you agree with an approach, just sign up and say, yes, I'm with you, like a thumbs. And also, we're at the Expo Hall, and my LinkedIn profile is a little thing on the right bottom side of the slide. I'm over, consumed 30 minutes instead of 25, but I'm still in time for the next session start, so we probably have a space for one question. Oh, 0 question? 0 questions. Thank you, guys.